Okay, so by this point you would have identified a technique used within a quotation. Let me just get my pen on. So you would have identified a technique used within one of the quotations in Charge of the Light Brigade. You would have added an explanation in here without because, so copied and pasted in. And you would also refined that explanation by interpreting it using because. So for example, we've got cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon in front of them. This is the use of repetition. And my level 4 analysis is the use of repetition helps to make the soldiers appear to be brave, because even though they are surrounded by cannons, they will still charge into the battle. So I've got because there to explain. So I've done that. The words right, left and front help to show this because it helps the reader imagine cannons all around the soldiers and helps to create the image that they were surrounded. However, they fought on nonetheless. Okay, so I've examined a keyword. I've actually used 3 keywords here to help make my point. Okay, so to get to a level 4, to get to a level 5, you need to think a little bit more thoughtfully. Okay, so that means sometimes either thinking about the quotation again, can you get a different effect, a different reason why the writer used the technique? Could you go even closer than you did here? So really closely examine the use of a certain word or phrase. And actually sometimes I find incorporating context into the interpretation helps to make the ideas a bit more thoughtful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look through the context again. I'm also going to think about my technique of repetition again. So the technique of repetition helps to make it sound like there's cannons all around them. But if I think about the technique again, cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon in front of them, it actually kind of makes the poem speed up a little bit. And it also makes the the battle appear quite exciting and heroic. Cannon to the left, cannon to the right. Okay. And actually, if we have a look at this piece of context here, the poem was written by Tennyson at a great distance from the events. So, for example, the soldiers are going into battle. They know that they're probably going to go to certain death into the mouth of hell. Wouldn't really be that exciting, would it, if you knew that you were going to fight into your death? However, people are going to hear about this battle at home in England, in Britain, and what Tennyson is trying to do is trying to show the soldiers as heroic because of their great sacrifice. So what I'm going to say is, for my level 5, the use, or furthermore, because I'm going to continue my idea, furthermore, the use of repetition cannon. Let's change that. No, doesn't want to change. Yes. Yep. The use of the repetition cannon actually also makes the battle sound a bit exciting in order to emphasize the bravery of the soldiers. And when you get to level 5, you're starting to make more thoughtful analysis. So your ideas need to be a little bit more tentative because you're testing them out. So I'm sort of saying perhaps the reason why Tennyson wanted the battle to sound exciting was because he wanted to emphasize the bravery of the soldiers and honor them, rather than showing the brutal reality of hundreds of soldiers going to their deaths. So let's just go back and have a look at that. So furthermore, the use of repetition, I'm going to say, because I'm making a second meaning, I want to make it really obvious, could also, the use of repetition, canon, could also, I'm taking out that word actually, could also make the battle sound a bit exciting in order to emphasise, this is why we check our work, the bravery of the soldiers. I guess the repetition builds up a rhythm in order to do this. Create that exciting effect. Perhaps the reason why Tennyson wanted the battle to sound exciting was because he wanted to emphasise the bravery of the soldiers and honour them, rather than, so I can't spell repetition today, rather than showing the brutal reality of hundreds of soldiers going to their deaths. Okay, so have a think about how you would turn just one of your techniques. Go back and have a look at a technique that you feel a little bit more confident about, perhaps. An interpretation in level 4 that you feel really strong on, and you think you could turn that into a more thoughtful analysis.